So it's that time of year once again. People are busy decorating their trees, carols are floating in the air, and kids are excited about making their list for Santa. It is the season to be jolly, but is it also a season for those that are cryptid fans? I think very much so. A time when creatures like elves, fairies, and maybe even Krampus get to run around. Maybe one of the most popular animals would not normally be considered a cryptid, but with a seasonal job to do, they do display an ability that would make them cryptids among their own species. I am of course talking about reindeer, not your average type, but the ones that pull Santa's sleigh. In an obviously Christmas themed video, let's take a look at Rudolph, Donna and Blitzen and see what makes these caribou cousins so special. Welcome to IF, videos on history, mystery and the strange. Hit that red button and ring the bell so you never miss a video again. Let's begin with the image that is so heavily ingrained in cultures around the globe. Santa riding his sleigh full of gifts that he will deliver to all of the children of the world in just a single night. He is helped by his elves and is tasked with giving every child on his nice list a Christmas present. How does he make it around the world in just one evening? That's down to his magical and trusty reindeer. Before setting off, the creatures get a sprinkling of magic dust and up and away they go. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donna and Blitzen, and we can't forget about the most recent addition to the bunch, Rudolph.
In the red corner, shining brightly and standing on all four legs, a character who has gone down in history, our favorite reindeer, Rudolph!
They may have gotten airborne by the power of magic, but it's the magic of children's Christmas wishes which keeps them in the air. But can reindeer really fly? Here are a few interesting facts about reindeer and their Yuletide magical abilities. Most think of Santa sitting in his workshop at the North Pole, busily overseeing the making of millions of toys and taking care of his antlered companions. But reindeer are actually found across a wide territory. Believe it or not, reindeer used to live as far south as Nevada, Tennessee and Spain. Today, however, their territory is mostly exclusively in the far northern regions of the planet. Most commonly found and thought of as being animals of northern Europe, reindeer are a migratory animal. There are some that have become domesticated, and these animals are an important part of Sami culture. The Sami people coming from Norway, Sweden, Finland and northwest Russia. The Sami people's reindeer don't fly, but they can run quickly and cover long distances. The animals are almost perfectly adapted for their lives in the cold north. They can travel upward of 200 kilometers between seasons as they move from winter grazing grounds to the mountains to calf in the spring. They can also move at quite a speed and cover around 45 kilometers a day when they are traveling. They obviously need a little help from mysterious magical forces to cover the 40,000 plus kilometer circumference of the planet multiple times in a single evening. Maybe they have some time traveling abilities. Adaptations we know that these animals definitely have are warm coats. The reindeer are able to survive the cold weather thanks to specialized hairs that make up their thick insulating fur. A reindeer's hair is hollow, and this allows the heat to be trapped between the individual hairs, but also inside of them. The hair is dense and thick and creates a layer of warm air around the animal. This is why the super insulating hide is used by the Sami people for their own winter clothing. Another specialized body part that they have are large hooves. They are much bigger than those of, say, a normal deer or a moose. These help them to walk and run on snow. They spread the creature's weight like snowshoes and stop them from sinking too deep into the snow. They also have amazing eyes, which can change colour with the seasons. The animal's eyes are yellow or green during the summer months and change to a deep blue during the winter. This changing colour helps them to see in the changing levels of light between summer and winter seasons by allowing more or less sunlight into the pupil of their eye. They can also see UV light, being the only mammals that are capable of seeing in the ultraviolet light spectrum. Maybe Santa has known this all along. Built-in night vision could be a key factor in his choice of transportation. But in all seriousness, where does the flying come from? The popular image of 8 deer pulling Santa through the snow and sky is a recent addition to the Christmas legend of St. Nicholas. It was first written about by American poet Clement Clark Moore in the 1820s. His poem gives us the 8 animals we are familiar with. Rudolph doesn't get to join the herd until a century later. Another American writer, Robert L. May, can be credited with the story of the red-nosed buck leading the way through a thick winter fog. The idea of a single reindeer leading the herd is not far from the truth. When reindeer migrate, there is a single animal at the head of the herd. We still haven't found an answer for flight. There are a few theories on where the idea of the flying animals came from. One idea is that these shaman of old drank the animal's urine, this urine having hallucinogenic properties thanks to the deer eating hallucinogenic mushrooms. The shaman chose to drink the urine rather than eat said mushrooms because the reindeer's bodies would filter the bad compounds, allowing for a safer and more potent experience. It was during this trip that the shamans would see the reindeer as flying, or that's how the theory goes. It is well documented that mushrooms were used by the shaman, but the drinking of reindeer urine is not common or often reported in Sami culture. Some experts have come out and flatly denied that this is the backstory to why we have flying reindeer today. They say that it is nothing more than a customary story. All cultures around the world have an animal that is central to their belief systems, and very often that animal can fly. Flight being a quality that is attributed to everything from snakes to elephants. Why would reindeer be excluded? The story has grown over the centuries. Traditionally, there were not 8 or 9 reindeer pulling the sleigh, but only 1. The popular poems I mentioned at the start have capitalized upon the popularity of the poems. Over the years, they have become huge commercial commodities, but there are still some lesser known facts about Santa's herd. The names given to each of the deer carry more meaning than many realize. Rudolph, for example, means famous wolf in German. 6 other reindeer, Comet, Cupid, Dancer, Vixen, Dasher and Prancer, have remained unchanged since they were first conceived. The last 2, however, were originally called Dunder and Blitzen. Those less than regal names were set aside for the more familiar Donna and Blitzen after being translated from Dutch to German, this then meaning thunder and lightning. I now have a mental image of Santa dressed as Thor, or maybe Thor dressed as Santa, straddling these beasts and riding them into battle. And on that note, I will bring this video to an end. So why do we have flying reindeer? Is it because of hallucinogenic mushrooms, or just some creative writing? What do you have planned for this Christmas? And would you like to see more Christmas themed content this festive season? If so, let me know what you think in the comments below. As always, if you like what I do here on the channel, hit that red button, like and share. You can catch the latest by searching We Are If. Have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.